Hey guys, so if you're new here, I'm making a video every single day until I have $1 million in the bank account, or I'm considered a millionaire by whichever standard that is. But today I want to talk about how I'm upgrading these daily updates quite a bit. So I've been kind of half-assing it for the last while now, and so I made this website today, and this is going to be a log. This is on my masonfitzgerald.com website, which is my personal portfolio website, and it has every video from every day that I've done so far. It's linked directly to the YouTube feed. So every time I post a video, it will automatically link here. And since I have not recorded today's video yet, it's not been posted. Secondly, with regards to that, this is going to allow you to go to all days and see the archive days. On top of that, I also have a log. So throughout the day, I decided that I may or may not stick to it. This is not a promise, but this is a interesting feature. I'm going to log what I do, and it's basically just going to be I can give you guys an example. Recording daily update right here. So it'll take the time and then just the simple description, and then you can filter by what it was. And so I'm making it myself a little mobile app for this so that throughout the day I can randomly just log what I'm doing. I'm going to set up a notification every like 30 minutes to an hour so that I can try and start staying consistent with this. And this, of course, is not something that is sustainable in the long term whatsoever. But what I find the value in it is if I know that I'm going to be logging what I do, I'm going to be much more particular and focused on what I do. So there's this strategy I've seen a couple of people talk about, one of which being like Hormozy. It's if you write down or set a timer for 15 minutes and write down everything that you did every 15 minutes when that timer goes off, you'll have the most productive day of your life because you'll be conscious of what you're using your time on. You'll get competitive with yourself and try and get as much done as you can in that 15-minute span as possible. And so this is kind of what I want to do with this. If I'm going to sit down and watch Netflix, then when my phone goes off and it says, hey, what are you doing? I'm going to be writing watch Netflix. And so you guys will actively be able to see live what I'm doing with my day, which puts the stakes for real since I'm already making these daily update videos, being like super straightforward and raw with everything that I do. But this is also going to go a step farther and show you what I actually do with my day. And this is to serve two primary purposes. The first of which is what I just said. It's to basically keep me on track, make me more productive, because I'm also curious what I'm doing throughout the day. And it's going to make me more mindful of how I'm spending my time. And the second thing that it's going to do is when I inevitably do hit the goal, which I got to put some sort of like progress bar up at the top here, even though I have like no money. But like inevitably when I do hit the goal, I want it to take all of the data that I've gathered over the time and summarize basically step by step what I did to get here. So if you all want to go through and be like, where was he 5 years ago? You can go through, and there's nothing here because I just started this, but this is what the side tab would look like starting today, and it will keep going. But you can go through a specific day and a specific month and a specific year and see exactly where I was. And the goal with this is to create some sort of structure with these daily updates where I can tell you exactly what I did with my day quickly in like 20 seconds because, of course, nobody wants to hear me talk about this all day. But then I'll jump into something. So like maybe Finance Fridays where I'll go through my finances and show you how I'm keeping the books, what business's finances look like and everything in which between, how I manage my budgeting, everything. Probably less interesting, but more so what I'm trying to get at with that is these are going to have more specific targets. There's going to be a reason to watch these. And so when you go back in 5 years and be like, damn, what was he doing? How much different was his lifestyle? You'll simply be able to either watch the video or just scroll down and see what I did with my day and what thoughts I was having and what I was thinking about and what happened in my life. And you can simply use all this information to simply do what did Mason do step by step over the course of these many years to get from 0 to 1 million, right? That's the primary goal here. And I'm trying to reduce as much friction as possible for myself because it's obviously hard as hell to make a video every single day. And it's probably even harder to make a structured video and log this throughout the day because really I'm just going to become a guinea pig and it's going to piss me off when I get tired of it. And so I'm reducing all friction. And that's kind of what I'm thinking the iOS app will do is if I take 10 seconds every hour to just log what I'm doing, over time this will add up and it'll be very important. But of course, in the videos, I want to actually teach people something. I want to do something with it. And so that's me done showing off this website right here. But I simply built this with Claude Code. in Cursor right here. So this is what the thing looks like, but I essentially have a taste skill which I got from GitHub. It's a little repository. Where is it? There's another skill. This is for hyperframes, but if you are at all interested in doing anything with Claude Code, you can get this taste skill right here. You just type in taste skill in GitHub, and you can go to skills and taste skill and just download the skill.md file right here, and you can drag it into your directory wherever your project is. So like in mine, I have the masonfitzgerald.com project, which is my personal portfolio website, and in this project root, so above this I believe is my web apps folder. I have a .claude folder in the web apps folder that has that skill in it, and so now I basically just tell Claude, hey, like run this skill, and all it is some dude who's created a ingenious system prompt that makes Claude way better at visual design. Now a lot of this like kind of did decide on myself, but most of the aesthetic appeal was done by the skill. But yeah, so this is really just the first day of a more structured daily updates. I'm going to be focusing a lot more on the thumbnails and the titles, the microphone quality, and treating this as like an actual thing that I want to work on and not just some half-assed thing that I do every day, because there's no purpose in doing it otherwise. But with all of that said, I have nothing really else to talk about because this is what I worked on today. I'm very excited because I did figure out how to color grade thumbnails using AI, which will be really, really exciting because my low quality face shots are going to be a little bit higher quality now. But really, besides that, the main thing that I want to basically give to you here is just don't half-ass stuff. If you're going to half-ass it, you should not do it in the first place. And so that's kind of been my motto for the last few months, and it's stop half-assing it. Like right now, in the last, God knows what, it's day 139 of doing this. There's maybe been 9 of those days where I got more than 100 views, maybe more than 200 views. And the reason behind it is not because I'm unlucky. It is because I'm half-assing it. My videos don't have thumbnails. My videos don't have titles. They don't have a description. They don't have anything. They have no reason for people to follow along with them. And so this is why I'm creating a reason to follow along. I'm going to be linking this site in every single one of my videos in the future. And you guys can come monitor this throughout the day if you would like. I will work on some form of idea or app or something to do with it, but the goal here is to involve everyone a little bit more and actually show you what I do with my day. Instead of making a 2-minute video at the end of the day talking about random stuff that nobody cares about, you can see what I'm actively doing with my day. And then at the end of the day, when I make my daily log, hopefully I can actually teach you something and show you what I've actually done with my day. So it's like here's a product of my day. It's a iOS app. Now this is not me literally saying this is a product of my day. This is something that I have been working on. But really what I mean is I'm going to hop on here and actually show you stuff. And there's going to be a lot of days where I'm not going to be on my laptop or screen recording and actually talking to you. Majority of the days I will probably be on my phone. But I'm trying to be more intentional with this and see how I can actually give. And there's no reason for people to watch these videos besides learning. Like, I wouldn't watch these videos unless I wanted inspiration or I wanted to learn something or copy something. And so if I can be a source of inspiration for people by posting this every day and actually tracking my journey, more people will gather as I get closer to the $1 million mark. And then once I hit it is when it's really going to go big, because I will have tracked every day since 0 to 1 million, because I literally did start recording these videos when I was not making any money. And I actually pretty much am not making any money right now. And so I will continue to do this until I have made $1 million, and you guys will be able to literally go watch the day-by-day videos. But the problem is, if these day-by-day videos don't actually have any substance, then you won't be able to figure out how I did it. And so I guess the key here for me is I want to start showing you the substance and how I did it. Because if I go on and say, oh, I had tacos for dinner, doesn't help you. What did I actually do with my day? And that's exactly what this website's for, is it's to remind me throughout the day to start logging exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to have thoughts, random thoughts throughout the day, probably stupid stuff, things that, life lessons maybe, and you can go to these. And I'm considering creating this feature, probably a little bit too forward thinking, but I think I'm going to allow people to sign in to this and then like things. So people can like the thoughts or work logs or updates. And then I'll have a nice another page here where you can filter by the top liked thoughts, work log, and updates. And really the reason behind this is to gather a group of people that, of course, are trying to learn something and that we can do it together, because I'm going to try and be here and do the same thing with everybody here every day, but also to the point where it is no longer about me necessarily and it's about you. Because if we have, for example, I have some random thought or some idea that I want to share. Here, I have a notepad of random things that I write down. You can show a horse water, but you can't make it drink. It's a quote. It's a good thought. It's a philosophical thought, right? That's something that would go in the thoughts section. And then so people would like that, it would pop up to the top. And so the goal here is you can go to this thoughts tab and you can see all of these interesting thoughts that I've had. And the most liked ones, or the top ones, are probably going to be the most applicable like life lessons that you could actually apply today. Which I know I repeated myself by saying applicable, that you could apply. But another one is only focus on what is immediately relevant. What's happening next month doesn't particularly matter unless it's affecting the present. Do it right the first time, and you won't have to keep cleaning up the mess. Imagination is always better than reality. Help others become their actual full selves and not the full self that you want them to be. Empty the tank today, and it will be full again tomorrow, either way. You are not what you do, but what you say. Or you are what you do, not what you say you will do. Logical arguments cannot change people. They must want to change and already be emotionally involved in order to change. I like this one a lot, and this could be our benchmark for today, because I find that a lot of people will argue ideas and politics and religion and really anything that you can argue or have heated discussions about, the stuff that you're not supposed to talk about at the dinner table. And everybody thinks that they're going to convince everyone else that they're correct, because we all deep down believe that we're correct. But what the fundamental flaw that most people don't seem to understand about humanity is we don't change our beliefs unless we want to. Like, you can argue with grandma or grandpa about political ideologies all day, and there will never be something that you say that will change their mind. Most politics and arguments in general are just two people talking to a wall. They're not actually trying to change. But if somebody comes to you asking, then they actually want to change, and that's when you can change people. And so I find this really applicable in real life, because you shouldn't really give advice unless you're asked for it, which I know I'm, of course, soliciting you with advice right now by saying this, and you didn't ask for it. And I, of course, don't expect you to change for that exact reason. But maybe it'll open your mind, and then you'll want to change. And so there's a lot of people out there. Um, I don't want to name anything because I have no interest in doing so, but people who will go out of their way to try and convince you that they're right, or their beliefs or their ideologies or their tactics are correct. But the reality of the situation is that's never going to convince anyone by going to them first. They have to come to you. And so by me telling you that this is what you should do and this is what you shouldn't do, that's my beliefs. That's what has worked for me. It's not necessarily what will have worked for you. And if it's not something that you're even willing to implement into your life, then just don't listen to me. You know what I mean? So in the future, if you're ever watching these videos and I'm saying, oh, this or that, and you should do this, these are my opinions. And therefore, the people who want to change and want to watch these videos to actually do something. But if you don't want to change, and in my case, or at least for these videos case, it's like starting a business or becoming successful or becoming a successful person, because to me, it's more about who I become rather than how much money I have in the bank account. The $1 million marker is just an indicator of success. It is not necessarily what I define as success. It is just an indicator that typically when you're successful, you have money. Now, there are many people out there who are extremely successful but don't have any money, and that's fine. I'm not judging, and I'm not saying that that's how it should or should not be. I'm just saying, for me personally and my goals, for me to have achieved my version of success and be the person who I am, that includes an abundance of time freedom, which in order to have time freedom, you need money, and that is why the goal is there. But straying from the point a little bit is to say that no matter what I say in these videos, they're not going to apply to you if you don't want to apply them. And so you have to actually want to do so, and you have to be open, and your heart has to be open to actually do these things, to actually like have them work. And that goes for really anything. If you're watching all kinds of YouTube videos about self-improvement or getting rich or anything like that, like, you're just never going to apply them if you don't want to be the type of person who works 80 hours a week and doesn't sleep. Like, I don't particularly want to be Alex Hormozy. He's getting like 5 hours of sleep a night writing books and he's constantly making content. Like, I don't want that life. That's just not something that I want. So I can take bits and pieces of advice from him that I do want, but there's other things that I don't want. And so why would I waste my time taking advice from somebody and him telling me what to do if I know that I'm not going to do it anyway? And then just goes back to the thing of like two people who believe different things or want different things are going to argue with each other about what is correct. But the reality is that they're both correct and nobody's going to change unless they want to. So if I leave you anything, it should be left with that. But that's it. I'm going to link this website in a couple of days because it's not public yet. I got to make sure that you guys can't like hack it or anything. Also, because right now anybody can input anything. So I have to have some sort of sign in. And then I'll probably make some sort of like feature. I don't really know. But yeah, it's definitely going to be much higher production from now on. That's the entire goal with these daily updates. Not higher production as in a lot of editing, but more so intentional. I'm not going to half-ass them anymore. They're going to be real and intentional. So with that, I leave you all with a very, very good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.